Hello, everyone. How are you today? I am Charmaine Brown, and I am blessed to be here with you. This is Impact Gospel Radio, and this is Mental Health, a holistic impact, where I welcome you in. All those who normally are here, I welcome you back. Those persons who are just joining for the first time might be wondering, what is this broadcast about? I'll tell you in a little while. I just want to give you a warm welcome. In the studio, we are having some technical difficulties. We're having some delayed um, films, and we're also having a little bit of glitch somewhere. And so we're trying to sort that out. Um, so you're wondering why we are here. I am here because I realize that we are having difficulties navigating our our way in this world because of how we feel, think, or just behave towards ourselves. We also realize that we might think the worst about ourselves. We do the worst to ourselves, and we feel really, I don't want to use the SHT word, and camera about ourselves. And we destroy ourselves with our self doubt and our self confidence. We destroy ourselves with everything. We curse out ourselves, we abuse ourselves, we do all these things to ourselves and to others and to people who love us, people who are around us. And so I realized that for me to help in society and for me to help you as colleague, one to one, a person to another person, I am here as a licensed certified psychotherapist who will bring you live or experiences that I have had and I've had persons having, and a storyline, the Raymond family saga storyline, where we can just relate to what's happening, relate to each other's story, relate to the persons or people in this story, and see how their their experience relate to our experience and what we can do. I am here to provide tools. I am here to provide evidence-based evidence-based information for us to use so that we can have tool in our toolbox. You know what? We're going to take a break because we're having some glitch in the studio right now. We're just going to go for a break and just come back and just get you talk about stress and stuff. Hello again, everyone. I am Charmaine Brown, and I'm blessed to be here with you on Impact Gospel Radio. This is Mental Health, a holistic impact, where we tell you a story and you match how you relate to the mental health issues that these people or persons in the story might be having, and you gather tool and gather information to put in your toolbox to help you. So I'm just going to recap. So Raymond was in the hospital the last episode, and he and Karen had a little bit of dispute, which was easily resolved because he realized that he cared for Karen, and Karen realized that. And so, what we're going to look at this week is what are the stress factors that Raymond is experiencing? What are these stresses in his life that needs to be fixed? How can we list those things if you remember the story? So the story, Raymond was stressed, Raymond collapsed, Raymond went into the ambulance, went to the hospital, was in the hospital, doctor saw him, he did a scan, nothing shows on the scan except a shadow which wasn't concerning. And so we're just going to look at stress. So the areas of stress in Raymond's life that might cause him discomfort is from his driving accident. Remember that accident that he had where he had to recuperate, take time to recuperate from his injury, and also the accident at work where he felt in a trench collapse and he was in there for 4 hours. He also was paranoid from just going at the workplace, just walking around. He have that fear that somewhere else is going to collapse, and so he's not doing well. He doesn't feel safe at work. Not having anyone to confide in, that can cause stress because when you don't feel like you can trust anyone to tell your story and to tell your discomfort, it can be very devastating. He does not want Karen, his girlfriend, to know how deeply he hurt. And this is going to be an issue because when somebody is close to you and you don't want them to know how you feel, it's going to cause that distancing. You might the person might be there with you in the room. It might be your spouse, it might be your best friend, it might be a family member that you're close to, or that you consider that you're close to. But because you have this problem, you don't want them to hurt, you don't want them to feel your pain, and you're wondering, should I tell this person or shouldn't I tell this person just to save this person from the from being sad for you. You might withdraw, you might be around that person, and the person know that something is wrong. The person is asking you what wrong, what is wrong, and you're just not saying anything. You just said, no, I'm okay, I'm fine. But your deportment, the person know you that well that your deportment shows that something is wrong, that you are not doing well. And so he doesn't confide in Karen because he doesn't want Karen to worry. He is stressed because he is not sure if it's too early to start his own company. Because remember, he wanted to spend 18 months at the company that he's working just to gather the tools and the information and what to do, the skills to open his own business. But because of the accident, he's fearful to go back to work. He's not feeling safe. And so now he's wondering, should I start my own company? Is it too early? So what was his intention? His intention, he wants all of these problems to go away. But how is he going to get this problem away when it seems that more and more when he think about things, he have more problem more and more. He does not know how to salvage a father-son relationship with his that he has with his father. Remember, he doesn't the relationship with his father is a little bit fractured, well, much fractured, because fracture is fracture. When a glass fell or falls and break, it's not a little fracture, it's just broken. It's so no little fracture, it's just break. So the broken relationship with his father, he's just wondering what can he do? How can he fix that? Because he's actually a fixer. He's not somebody who takes from other people and don't put back. He worries about that. How does he approach his father? He haven't approached his father in a long while, for years, and so he doesn't know how to get through to his father. the stress that he's finding in his environment, and how to self-express that. These are things that are causing him to have stress. And so we are going to look what is stress. So according to WHO, which is World Health Organization 2023, stress is having issues or mindfulness of a situation that cause mental disturbances or mental distortion. It is a response that occurs naturally. Everybody has stress. It's a natural response because we have hormones in our body, the corticus hormones, that when we are stressed, it ignites the body to tell our brain to perfuse and deal with the stress. And so no matter how simple the stress is, you're going to have it. For instance, just the other day when we fixing this, or maybe yesterday, it was stressful. The renovation is being moved up, and so at the place that it's supposed to be. And so it causes stress. It's caused a little bit of argument here, a little bit of argument there with me and the producer. And so if you don't know how to effectively manage that conversation in love and respect, then we're going to have a problem. If we can't manage it when we're angry or when we're upset, we have to just relax, think about ways to fix it. Think about our skills that we have gone through, our listening skills. Not only listening skills, but active listening skills. It must be active. It must be respectful. It must be what you want for yourself. Our kindness, those traits that we went through, the kindness. We have to have compassion when we listen, and we have to clarify. So all those tools that we went through before, we have to use them now to manage. It gives us cues. So stress gives us cues of dangers and trials in our lives that need to be addressed. So when we have stress, something went wrong. We must find what went wrong. It is telling us something went wrong, and so we need to fix it before it gets out of control. Everyone experiences stress on some level. Some people have high stress, some people have low stress, and some people have next to no stress. I'm a person who, I honestly think I have next to no stress. For this week, I was looking at about some documents, and these documents are very important. I need them to disperse and finding places to get them, because I have to get them from all over, from international as well as national. And so every time I try to do something, somebody says something that don't make sense, and that was causing a little bit of stress. So what I do, I go to bed. Yes, in the daytime. I love to sleep in the daytime. I go to bed. I slept. I pray. I pray and slept and wake up and pray again and said, let's deal with this. And so I take my time to deal with this thing. If you take your time to deal with your stress, you will deal with it more effectively than running through whatever you need, doing it fast, running through. Just it will become more chaotic when you just rush through how to deal with your problem. So some people know how to control their stress levels. Do you know how to control your stress levels? Do you know when you're stressed? Do you know how to assess your stresses, what is causing you stress? Do you know how to assess that? Others do not tolerate stress. Some persons who have certain diseases, Addison disease is one of those diseases. So Addison is where the person doesn't have a stress hormone that ignite when there's a stressful event, and so they don't have that hormone to navigate into their body when they have stress. And so if they have stress, they can actually die from a small amount of stress. And so some persons know how to navigate, some persons don't know how to navigate, some persons might have to take medication to navigate stress. Just get rid of the stress, especially if it's controllable. You have something that is stressing you out. For instance, you're going to cook dinner, and you have decided that you're going to cook some pasta. and it's late in the night. You came home, you don't have that pasta. It shouldn't be causing you stress because this, I know you want to eat pasta. Is there anything else in the house to cook instead of the pasta and then have the pasta some other time to reduce that stress of not having what you desire to eat at that time? Do you have some rice in the house? Do you have some flour? Do you have some bread? Do you have some sausages? So stretches that are that are controllable doesn't need to go any further. Those stresses that are uncontrollable, then we don't need to stress about things that are uncontrollable because we won't be able to control it no matter if we stress or if we don't stress. And so what I'm saying to you is get rid of the stress that you can control. So handling stress effectively is imperative because it shows the resiliency of the individual dealing with the problem. It shows how strong you are, how focused you are, how attuned you are to what is going on. So, handling your stress in an effective way shows how effective you are in stress management. And normally, when people, I always talk about job interview. One of the job interview question is how you manage stress in the workplace. We're going to take a break and then we're going to come back, deal with a little more stress, and then get back right into the Raymond's family saga. Hi everyone, I'm Charmaine and I'm blessed to be here with you this evening on Impact Gospel Radio. This is mental health, a holistic impact, and we are looking at stress. So, stress can lead to other mental problems, mental health problems, and it can also exacerbate mental health issues that you have already, such as anxiety, panic attack. It can cause more sadness to you and depression. So stress add to those is not good. So everyone manages stress differently. How do you manage your stress? What do you do to manage your stress? When I'm stressed, I pray a lot. I always pray. I just pray a lot. I make up songs. I sing. I wash my dishes. I clean. I do chores in my house when I'm stressed just to get that level. And when I'm doing these things, what happens is that I'm thinking through what is stressing me and putting plans into place how to get rid of these stresses. Persons might say, you clean a lot. Yes, I clean a lot because it allows me to relax. According to Cleveland Clinic 2023, the stress response ignites physical, mental, and intellectual self to act. It allows us to act. When you have stress, your body is able to adjust to new changes. So when you're stressed, it's something new. It might, some persons keep stressing over the same thing over and over and over and over. And if you did not fix that stressful event, then when it delayed, it can cause significant problem. We are having some glitches. I can see some glitches on the live stream, but I leave that to my producer to fix that. Stress keeps us alert and ready to deal with this threat, especially when we are proactive. So when you're constantly being stressed without taking a break, it can cause problem. Stress is subjective and cannot be measured. So it's what you tell me that you're stressed about. I have to tell you about my stress and you tell me about your stress. What I mean, no one can measure your stress. It's what you said it is. Is it severe? Is it medium? Is it mild stress? Is it stress that you can deal with? Only Raymond can determine his level of stress, and only him can fix that stress. So what are signs and symptoms of stress? Headache, chest pain, palpitation, abdominal pain, abdominal discomfort, high blood pressure, difficulty with sexual intimacy. You can have erectile dysfunction. You can have decreased intimacy with your partner. You can have decreased conversation, unhealthy behavior like smoking, drinking, using illicit drugs. So how can we manage our stress? How do you normally manage your stress? Does those tools that you normally use before, did it help before? If it does help, you can use them in the present stressful situation. If it doesn't help, you have to find new tools to use to help you. If it did help, you can use some plus new tools to combat that stressful level. So we're going to take a break because I realize that my producer is telling me there is a delay in the feed. And so when we come back, we're going to go straight into the Raymond's family saga. We're going to leave the rest of the stress because I don't want to give you too much information and stress where you don't remember everything. All right. Hi everyone, I am Charmaine. We are having a little problem in the studio. This is Impact Gospel Radio. This is mental health, a holistic impact. And I'm just going to put stress on a whole. We talk about what it is, how we can maneuver ourselves with stress, and some of the signs and symptoms. Next week, we'll just see how Raymond can deal with his stress. I am going to go into the Raymond's family saga. What did Raymond decide to do? So remember, Karen was in the arms of Raymond in the bed, and Dr. White told him, think about it. We can help. We have information where I can refer you to a mental health professional where they can help you. So let's get into the Raymond's family saga. So Raymond was thinking about his life and the stress he was experiencing. He also was thinking about the referral Dr. White spoke about. He did not want to see a shrink because he did not want his father to have a field day about it if he found out or if he find out, which he normally does. So Raymond father seems to be well versed and well known in the community and other community which he lives, because if everything you do your father is going to know, that means your father is well connected, right? So Raymond didn't want his father knowing he's seeing a shrink. Most of us think that psychotherapists like myself and counselors and psychiatrists and psychologists are shrink. Most of us think it's a bad thing to see these people. Here Raymond was saying he doesn't want to see these persons because he does not want his father to have a field day about it. Raymond look at Karen sleeping in his arms in the hospital bed and wish he could tell her everything. You know, when you have somebody that you care about and that is always there, you have a spouse, your kids, your friends, your family member that you feel close to, but you have a certain problem that you feel like you cannot discuss with that person. You're going to feel lonely, even if that person is in your arms. You're going to feel lonely. You're going to feel like nothing is working, because a person that you have close to you, and if you trust that person, you must be able to tell that person anything. That person is not supposed to criticize you or judge you, right? Raymond knew that Karen loves him, but there are things that he didn't tell Karen. He didn't talk about with Karen. He knows that he also loved Karen. And now he's thinking, was Karen hiding anything from him as well? So let's get this into context. Most times when you don't trust people, you're asking yourself, is that person trust you as well? Most times when you do things to other people, you're asking yourself if other people is doing that thing to you as well. That's how our brain works. That's how most people brain work like that. Whatever we're thinking if the other person is thinking that of us as well. Yes. So here Raymond is thinking, does Karen hiding something from me? Because they haven't discussed everything. And you know, there's a saying that says, you can't know everything about a person. I don't know how true that is, because I would like to do a survey with persons who have been married for 30 years, 40 years, 50 years, and 60 years. As a matter of fact, I'm going to do that survey. Even if I do 10 people or 20 people, I want to know how well they know their partner. How well do they know their partner? I want to start at age 30 upwards, because by age, when you get married, in your 30th anniversary and up, you should know that person quite well. But don't forget that Raymond and Karen has been dating for a year and a half. You cannot know everything about a person within a year and a half. No. So, other women Raymond has dated has only used him for his resources, especially his money, and pretended to love him until he stopped their funding. So these women came into his life. He spent money, and if you know Raymond, I won't disclose a lot, but he spent money, and when he put a stop to the funding, they just disappear. And so this is playing on Raymond's mind. This is also playing on him, because when you have persons in your life who just come in to use you, it will play on you. You will be asking yourself, is the one that is in your life doing the same thing? Our minds work like that. We have doubt, and we try to prove that doubt. That what they call it. We try to prove the red flags. I'm going to tell you a story. When I was dating my husband, and you know, when you are dating somebody and somebody is dating you, they're always looking for red flags. No, I did not look for any red flag in my husband, because I knew I was going to marry that man. Because I had prayed about it, and I have got indication from God who my husband was going to be. I did not have wasn't looking for any red flags. No, I wasn't. My husband, however, was looking for a red flag but couldn't find any up to this day. Oh, yes, you will meet him sometime. So Raymond started to think that maybe he and Karen probably need to spend more time together to discuss issues and situations. He need to speak with someone he trusts. And Raymond trusts Karen a little bit. He did. He did have some confidence in Karen. He just does not want to worry Karen about his problem. So he trusts Karen, he cares for Karen, he just did not want Karen to worry. You know, when sometimes you have problems, for instance, you might get, and God forbid, I hope none of you that is watching have gotten any bad news from the doctor. But sometimes you get some bad news from your physician and you're so worried. And you know that if you tell your parents or your kids or your spouse, they're going to be worried because they care about you. And this was how Raymond was feeling. So Raymond was feeling that, no, I love Karen, I trust her a little bit, but the problem I'm having is not for her right now. His desire was really to talk to a professional about his problems, but he was afraid of the stigma. You know how many of us are afraid to be stigmatized? A lot of us are afraid to be stigmatized because there are some cultures that they do not use therapy. They do not use counseling. They do not use psychotherapy. They do not use psychiatrists. They do not use these things because of the stigma that is attached. And, you know, when I was in Jamaica, I didn't know about depression until I traveled to Canada, where even the mildest episode of depression was treated. I didn't know what it was until I came here because I think the Caribbean people, most of them teach their kids how to be resilient over certain situation. And because of that, that's a culture where some people don't believe in counseling. And so they will never, ever go to counselor, even if their life depends on it. They might talk to a friend if they if they have confidence in that friend, but not so much. So we're going to take a break and we will come back in a little while. Welcome back, everybody. I'm Charmaine, and I'm blessed to be here. Charmaine Brown, that is, of course. And this is Impact Gospel Radio. We're doing mental health, a holistic impact. I just love to play around. I love laughing. If you should know that about me, I'm just more seriously when I'm around people who I don't know and I don't trust. Like Raymond, I'm more silent. But with friends and family members and people who I love, they know me. I love to laugh. I love to just joke around. And I just live life one day at a time, enjoying every moment of it. That's my way of living. So Raymond must decide what to do tonight because in the morning, Dr. White is waiting for an answer. So he must decide what to do. Is he going to see a professional counselor, psychotherapist, psychiatrist, psychologist? What is he going to do? What does he decide to do? Raymond must make that decision of whether to go back to the construction site or to start his own company ASAP. Because if he's having problem at work, he must know what he's going to do. Is he going to start the company? He might have to do that. Who knows? You just have to follow the story. He realized that Karen knows he has some money. So Karen knows something about him. Karen knows that he have a little bit of stash and that he wants his own company. But she does not know how much he has. So you can know that somebody have some money, but how much? Do you know everything? Do you know how much he has? Do you know? No, Karen did not know that about Raymond, and Raymond knew that Karen did not know that about him. Raymond wanted a life with Karen and to share everything with her, but he was afraid that she would use him like the others. So sometimes when you go to trauma, you still have a little bit of reservation to open up fully. A lot of us have gone through traumatic events. Lots of us. As a matter of fact, almost everyone has gone through traumatic events. Almost everyone. You know what? The baby, when they're born into a cold environment because in the stomach it's warm. And so they have to come out in this cold environment. And so they have to adapt. And it goes right up to the elderly. Because the elderly, they are normally independent. But after a while, as they get older, they lose their independence. And there are things in our lives that traumatize us during the stages of development. And so no matter what, we all go through some trauma. But sometimes we take that trauma along with us in our suitcases, as I said before in some other broadcast. We take that trauma with us, we take those baggages with us, and we don't know how to put them down and lay them down and leave them. Or just put them in the dumpster. Just put them in that suitcase, take them to the dumpster, drop it in the dumpster and say, forget this garbage. Because sometimes the trauma are just garbage. And what I mean, I'm not underplaying the traumatic event that you go through. I'm not underplaying that because trauma can devastate person's life. But sometimes carrying around that baggage just inflict you. It just keep going. It just make you keep reliving these things and not living the life that you really deserve. Because when we are taking the trauma with us instead of the knowledge and instead of what we know and learn about that trauma, then we are taking something negative with us further into our lives. We don't deserve that. We deserve to be happy. We deserve goodness. We deserve everything that is best. We deserve to live stress-free. We deserve to have what we want and work towards what we want. So if you can take some of those baggages from past life, some of those stress, some of those depression, some of those things that keep us down and put in those suitcases of ours and go drop in the dumpster and start over fresh, that would be beautiful. Just beautiful. So all his other women uses resources without giving him back anything. He didn't receive anything from them. And so he felt like he didn't want to open up too much. This affects Raymond's self-worth and trust in the relationships. And so he's bringing it here in Karen's way. Not that he's pushing Karen because he doesn't have a problem with Karen, but he still have that to think about and that to deal with. He still have to fix that problem. And you know what? It might seem like a small thing, but when we keep thinking and ruminating over these events in our mind, it's not small anymore. It prevents us from sleeping. It prevents us from eating, from having honest conversation with each other. It prevents us from a lot of things, from opening up to others. And so some of these things it's not simple. You might think, oh, it's just a simple thing. I'll deal with it later. No, why deal with it later? Why can't you deal with it now? If it's so simple, why can't you deal with it now? Only if you are busy doing something else, then you're going to put your problem aside. But I encourage you, do not put problem aside, because you want to enjoy your life as best as possible. And problem hinder you from enjoying to the fullest. So if you can deal with it, deal with it. The faster you deal with it, and I don't mean to think about it fast, I mean to take the initiative to put things into place to deal with the problem. People taking and taking without giving back and then walking away has caused chaos in Raymond's life. This allows Raymond to feel like he was in a relationship only to provide for others and not in a partnership. Raymond was thinking about work, relationships, family, business, counseling, independence, and life in general. He started feeling like the walls of the hospital room were caving in and he was convulsing. Raymond was shaking in that bed. I wonder what's going on. I wonder what's going to go on. Raymond, was he having another blackout? What's going on with him? Something is happening to Raymond. This is Impact Gospel Radio. This is mental health, a holistic impact. This is where me, your host, come every Monday at 6:30 Manitoba time, 7:30 New York time, 7:30 Jamaican time, to bring you information, research-based information, to bring you experiences, to bring you the family story of the Raymond saga and see how you relate to that saga. We are here to listen to you, to see your comments, for you to text us. I think on the screen somewhere there, you see the information, the website, how to get in touch with us. Impact Gospel Radio have a lot of resources. We have nurses, we have doctors, we have psychotherapists like myself, we have politicians, we have the whole works. If you need help, you get in touch with us. We will get in touch with you. Do not be afraid of the stigma. Do not be afraid of seeking help for yourself. You have a responsibility to take care of yourself so that you can take care of your kids if you have any. You can take care of your family members, your friends, and even strangers that you might meet. Because some of us, when we have stress and problems, we maltreat or mistreat others, and it's not good. We deserve better for ourselves, and we should love ourselves and take care of ourselves. Do our self-care. I am going to go. Join me next week, Monday at 6:30. We will be here. Have a great evening. It was a pleasure.